What's up, everybody? Duane here from Two Goalies, One Mic. Live here for all you can listen from the Mohegan Sun Hotel and casino. Out here for work, but still caught a lot of the game. And I know, normally when I post the show, I have the bullet points and I list a bunch of stuff we're going to talk about, right? We're going to talk about this, we're going to talk about that in regards to the game. But reality is we're going to talk about when does this end? Reality, when does this trash end? Um, I was kind of looking at the post game comments from some of the players, like Owen Power, who just continues to Owen Power, if that's how you want to put it. Said, I felt we put some pressure on them there in the second half of the game, third period. What? Watching the amount of game I was able to, because again, I'm out, for work, and I tried to just be kind of focused on that rather than the negativity of the Buffalo Sabres. I don't really feel that at any point during this game that the New York Rangers felt threatened. They felt scared to lose to the Buffalo Sabres. They just didn't. Um, you know, even when they were playing on their heels in the third period, I just didn't feel any panic in their game. Like the panic that you've seen with this team since this losing streak started. And I know we kind of joked about it on the podcast a week ago, but it's almost like a 10-game losing streak is inevitable at this point. It's like, and here's the thing, how, and I wish I could yell, but I'm out in public at a work event. And if I was in public, not at a work event, I would be yelling. But how could you, as Terry Pegula, who allegedly is at so many Sabres games, allegedly, we never see his face. We see him in the Bills locker room all the time. After wins, he's always there. But how, if you're Terry Pegula, do you sit here and watch us and feel especially when we're almost convinced that he has his fingers on everything, he's in a lot of the decision making, that he's there for, essentially to be, Kevin Adams is there to be, his puppet and his yes man. He's going to do what Kevin's going to do what Terry says. How can you, as Terry Pegula, avid lifelong Sabres fan, sit here, watch this garbage, and just not tell your GM, hey man, gloves are off. I no longer have you on a leash. Go do something. Figure something out. Trade somebody from this core. Don't do something so reactive that it's stupid. But I had this conversation I mentioned on the podcast just last night with a former Sabres alumni. These guys, they just don't look like they hate losing. I'm not going to sit there and speak for the players, but I've grown up watching this team, the different generations of players that have come through it, and just the willingness to almost, and I know it's kind of exaggerating, but almost die for one another out there on the ice isn't there. It's just not there. There is skill on this hockey team, but the thing that is missing is heart, passion, and just drive. You just don't lose 8 games in a row because you just weren't the better team that night. There's a lot of other things that go into it. So what's missing? And I'll tell you right now, what's missing? It's the heart, the drive, the passion. And I know, I'll quote Shorzy, they don't hate to lose. You have to hate to lose more than you really want to win. And these fucking assholes don't hate losing enough. It's almost got to be something that just, disgusts you so much that you got to be more passionate and emotional when you lose than you are when you win. And they just don't. They're not. So what do you do? What do you do if you're Terry Pegula or if you're Kevin Adams and it really is true that Terry gives you all the tools that you need to win? What do you do? How do you fix this? Is it unfixable? I just don't know anymore. I don't. You just You just lost. You got swept in an entire homestand. Like, you went 3-0 in California, beating one team that was, relatively a team that you might have expected to lose to. And then you beat two teams that you were supposed to beat. And you play these gutsy games. You win the again. It doesn't matter where they're in the standings. There were still some gutsy wins in there. But then you come back home and you play like this. When does it end? When does this shit end? I really don't know. I don't have an answer. Like, sometimes I could feel like I could, like, come up with an answer and just from A, watching Sabres hockey most of my life, and B, just being a part of this game on the ice as a coach. Like, I could somehow, like, think of just, optimism and just things to, hey, like, this is, I feel that, like, things are going to turn. I just don't have an answer. I have no answers for it. None whatsoever. And I don't know when this ends. And, it's gotten to the point where I don't even want to come on here anymore and do these post games because it's so fucking depressing. It is so depressing to come on here and just talk about this shit over and over. It almost affects your mental health. How do you... I don't know. I don't know what the answer is. I don't know what they're supposed to do. But I do know that the answer isn't on this team right now. Like, do we really think even having Rasmus Dahlin, we believe has been playing hurt the entire season, do we really think him being in the lineup is really going to be the answer? Like, he would have made that big of a difference between losing 8 in a row? Like, he's been part of this losing streak. So it's a lack of leadership. It's a lack of just drive and just hating to lose. Like, I don't really know. And it isn't Lindy's fault. We can try and put some blame on Lindy for sure, but, like, he inherited this team. And he inherited this coaching staff. Because I will not believe, I refuse to believe for a moment that he didn't want to bring in his own staff. I refuse to believe for a moment that he had a choice in Seth Apper and Marty Wilfer and Matt fucking Ellis. The guy has been a part of the league for almost 50 years. You're going to sit here and tell me that he didn't have ideas in mind of guys he might have wanted to bring in? Like, come on. Who are we fucking kidding? Do you really believe that? I don't believe that. I really don't believe that. I genuinely mean this. I really don't think that this team is going to break this playoff list drought until Terry Pegula sells it, or just gets hands off and just allows hockey minds to make hockey decisions. I don't believe that there is any light at the end of the tunnel, because the talent, there is talent there, but where is the passion? Where is the drive? The willingness to not just play for one another and play for yourself, but play for this city. I'm not in that locker room to sit there and tell you guys that these guys aren't feeling extremely down on themselves going home and just staying up all night, just thinking about the games. Like, I feel there are guys on this team that do that, but there isn't enough. It has to be every single player on the team. They have to all want to play for one another. They all have to want to play for us, and they don't. You can't convince me otherwise. I know I'm just a fan who claims that he's been a part of this game for a long time, been a fan of this team for a long time, but I can see it. It's plain as fucking day, man. It's plain as day. And Owen Power, like, I'm so glad Lindy benched him. It's so about fucking time, dude. And you want to know what? All the people who came at me and nailed me to the cross over a year ago when I went live in the middle of a game and said they needed to sit Owen Power, that he needed to be benched. And a lot of you people out there fucking sat there and nailed me to the cross, said I'm overreacting, like that. He's not a problem. His sky's limit. This, that, and the other. The potential. You can't do that. You'll ruin his development just for benching him. No, No. What a part of fucking this game tonight do you watch Owen Power in the defensive zone and think, like, he's really taking steps forward? What? What? The offensive ability is obviously there, but he's a defenseman. If he is a fucking defenseman in the National Hockey League, and the both turnovers and the first 2 goals are unacceptable, and Lindy benched him, and that should have happened a long fucking time ago. That should have happened. That should have happened under Don Granato. But God forbid you hurt a player's feelings, right? God forbid that you might emotionally damage them for benching them mid-game, which I've always been in favor of any player benching a player mid-game. I actually am in favor of that more than putting him under the press box because you're sending a message mid-game in front of his teammates. Hey, get to the end of the bench. You're going to be there for a while until I say otherwise. I am a big, big, big advocate of that. Big advocate. So, like, thank God it finally happened. And the culture. I don't know if the culture, this is as bad as the 18-game losing streak. This is as terrible as the 18-game losing streak because it was supposed to be different this year. It was supposed to be different. Lindy, accountability, everything. And there has been accountability. We saw accountability today during the game with the benching of Owen Power. But, like, we're going to, like, sit here and pretend that this is any different than under Ralph Kruger in the 18-game losing streak? It isn't. And I know you guys are leaving a lot of comments in the Peanut Gallery. I hope you know, like, I'm not ignoring you. I'm on my phone in the hallway at the Mohegan Sun Hotel and Casino. So I'll bring up some of you guys. I'm not gonna like read them out to you, but I'll let you guys be heard. I don't know anymore. I really don't. Here we go from Sabres Man 31. Rich Gen Z players got their paycheck on this team. No need to play hard. Here's 2 years. 14, 15, 16, and 17 without playoff. Like, I don't disagree with that. Like, you paid players way too early. You paid Owen Power too much money too early in his career, like, after honestly proving nothing. And it's biting you in the ass. You paid Dylan Cousins so much money too early, and it's biting you in the ass. I don't know. I just don't know. Park Brown, this is the Sabres. This is the Sabres podcast. We're new to the Built-in Buffalo platform. Thanks for following along. Shout out to Park Brown here. I feel from Chris Dirk. I feel so terrible for this city, this fan base community where once enjoyed playing hockey on the streets at a local rink, and I feel thanks to Terry, the passion has almost been sucked out of me. And we've talked about this so many times, man. Like back in the day, when I was like a teenager, you couldn't walk down 3 different side streets without seeing a street hockey game going. Kids out there wearing Sabres jerseys. Just the passion and the love and the commitment to this team and this franchise was just there. And it's not anymore. It's not. You see kids from the last 2 generations, when you ask them who their favorite players are, they're like, oh, McDavid, oh, it's Drysdale, oh, it's Austin Matthews, it's, Robinson. It's just all these different players. They're not Sabres players anymore. They're not. And that's depressing. It's really fucking depressing. And what do you do to fix that? This is why I'm having a hard time doing videos myself, Duane, because I feel like I'm repeating the same bullshit over and over again. What's the point if we feel like nothing is going to change? I agree, Chris. I do. I don't know if we can force the Pagulas to sell the team, Dylan. From Josh Drag Race, I would love Brady Tkachuk or Andrei Snushikov over Darlene, and definitely Veneers over Power. Drafting D-man first overall is stupid, honestly. Forwards are way more impactful and way harder to get. I don't necessarily disagree with that. I mean, I think a lot of teams would have taken Owen Power first overall. I mean, I'd say 90% of the league would have taken Power first overall, and maybe he would have been better developed on other teams other than Buffalo. I don't know. I don't. But talk about a guy who just wasn't ready for the NHL as a full-rounded player. He just wasn't. And maybe that speaks to our inability to develop. I think that's something to talk about, just our inability to develop players. They're certainly developed after they leave Buffalo. They go to win Stanley Cups. Who's going to be the first to ask for a trade? My vote is Tuck. I hope not, man, because I do think Tuck cares so much. He does. He's one of the first guys they talk to in the locker room. I don't know anymore, man. I just don't. This team just from top to bottom just needs a complete overhaul. I almost want to just start from scratch again, just do a full fucking blown rebuild. Keep a small handful of players and just start from scratch again, because I just don't know what the answer is. I don't know. I, I just, you know, you got here a comment here from Andrew Wobeck. At least WWE on TV Saturday night. Yeah, like I would rather watch WWE wrestling over this, and it's scripted. I would rather watch that because that brings me more joy than the Buffalo Sabres. 8 losses lead to 10 losses in a row. Fire Adams Palm Trees lottery. Yeah, I agree. TNT broadcast mentioned Power and JJ both bench plus 19 missed shots on net. No urgency. Yeah, I forgot to mention JJ Paterka was bench tonight too. Again, accountability. Like, I don't know. I don't know. I don't have answers for you guys anymore. I don't know where this ends or how it ends or what to do anymore. All I know is I'm here at a work outing for the week at this beautiful, beautiful establishment in the Mohegan Sun. I can't express that enough. This place is absolutely gorgeous. It's like a small city. And I'm here. I left all my colleagues at work to come here and talk to you about the Sabres. Because that's how much I fucking care. That's literally how much I care. How much I love this franchise, how much I love the crest on the front. I feel like I love that crest more than they do. And that's sad, man, because that's their employer, they pay them, and they should be willing to fucking die for that crest, man, on the ice. Maybe that's an exaggeration, I don't know, but I feel like I'm more willing to than they are at this point. Just the opportunities these entitled pricks are given in life, and just the ability to play hockey for a living, a game that they loved growing up, and just to go out there and shit down their legs every single fucking night. And just, how are you not disgusted with yourselves? I hope you are. I don't know. And people, outside, this guy's a fucking loser. He's on his phone doing a podcast at fucking 10:20 at night, sitting here bitching about the Sabres, go get a life, this time. They're like, yeah, but like a lot of the relationships I've developed in my life, like the positive ones, started because of hockey, the Sabres hockey, and loving this organization and loving this team. I owe a lot of it to the history of this franchise. And there's been ups and downs with this franchise with me. You all know what happened 5 years ago, and just, there was positives and negatives that came with that. But I don't know how this gets better. I don't know where to go from here. I don't know. I don't know. Which handful of players would you retain for a rebuild? I mean, Tage, because I think he has the ability to carry a team. He has shown it. But he can't do it by himself. I mean, I guess I would say Darlene, and I would say JJ Paterka. Those are my 3. Maybe Devin Levi, because I think he's going to be a stud in that. Who else? Alex Tuchscherer, because I think that he does truly care. Those are maybe my 4 or 5. And just fucking blow the rest of the roster up. Zach Benson, for sure. Okay, 5, those 5. But just blow the rest of the fucking roster up, man. Just blow it all the fuck up. I don't care anymore, man. I don't care. I can't do this anymore. Fans can't do this anymore. How can you? How can you? This is so bad. This is so fucking bad. So guys, I'm going to go back, hang out with my friends from work and try and enjoy the rest of my night. Love you all. I know always, I say this after, I appreciate you guys so much for always sticking here with me and hanging out in the chat and venting with me and, being here through all this bullshit. Because it is an outlet. It really is. Like I mentioned, like mental health at the start of this and how I allow this franchise to affect it. And it's true though. Like having you guys there to talk to like this, even when I'm supposed to be doing something completely different and enjoying myself, it means a hell of a lot. Because at the end of the day, we're all fans. We're not executives. We're not scouts. We're not we look at what we see, and some of us know a little bit more about it than others. Like, I like to think that I know quite a bit about the game, having spent a lot of time on the ice and on a bench. I feel like I can speak to intelligently about the game, but like it really just means a lot to have this group of you out there to vent to. Um, so thank you for that. Um, and please, if you're new to the show, you haven't subscribed yet, please hit subscribe on YouTube. If you're watching YouTube, hit the like button, hit the little bell to be notified when we go live. Appreciate it. Please make sure that if you're watching on Facebook, you follow us on Facebook at Two Goalies One Mike. You can find me at Duane Steinall. On Twitter, now actually you can find me at Duane S39, as you can see there on the screen. At Two Goalies One Mike. And on Instagram, you can find us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify. Please make sure you subscribe. It means the world to me. And make sure that you leave a comment and a good review. So, but as always, man, begrudgingly, go Sabres.